Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 27th of August 2023. So this is a quick intro from me for a guy I interviewed in Crawley this morning called John Canna. I went along to my local stand in the park there in Crawley for the first time in a little while and caught up with some old friends, so that was really great. And some of them broke off from the meeting to go and do a little bit of campaigning for keeping cash in Crawley. We all know how important it is to keep cash, and I had a chat with John and had a good little chat with him. He's explaining why it's so important we keep cash. He goes into that in quite a bit of detail here. And one reason, and I never really thought of this, and you may not have either, if we lose our cash, it's going to most likely usher in a Chinese style of social credit score system, where if you don't behave and you criticise the government, etc., you will sort of lose part of your social credit score. That will go down, and that will then result in loss of freedoms. But what John was saying is apparently in China, if you associate with someone who has a bad social credit score, yours might be all right, but if theirs isn't that great, yours then goes down because you're associating with them. So it kind of encourages people to shun each other. So that is yet another really bad consequence that we are going to be looking at if we allow this horrible stuff to happen, which I didn't think of that, and you may not have either. So a very interesting point, and he makes quite a few more interesting observations. So keep on watching, and we'll get straight into John's interview. Hope you enjoy it. Crawley, cash is freedom. Use cash, preserve liberty. What a great thing. A bit of activism here in Crawley, handing out the leaflets. Let's have a look at one of your leaflets, one of these £20.
There you go, keep cash alive.
Dodgy £20 note things.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant though. That's really good. So why is it important to keep cash?
To preserve liberty is our message. Try and use cash. The more we can use cash, we support local businesses. We can, and what it means is it makes it hard to get rid of cash. If they get rid of cash and they have everything digital, then they'll know everything you do and control everything you do. So anything that you feel, they'll never do that because people will be upset about it, well, those days will have gone. And anything, so this is a vital thing that we always keep this option. You buy things online. There might be occasions when you use it, but when you can, whenever you can, try and use cash. And that's the message I'm trying to get across to people. Well, we're trying to get across to people today.
Oh, and you've been doing this quite a lot recently, haven't you?
Yeah, this is the new campaign.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a serial campaigner.
And what's the response been like from the public?
Very good. It's been one of the happiest campaigns I've ever been on. So people do recognise it. They do see the dangers. They do recognise that there's something going on there. So we're on good ground here. So yeah, I feel there's nobody unfriendly. There's the odd one will come up with arguments, but it's easy to counter these arguments.
What sort of arguments do they have then?
What you want me to make their side? Okay.
The
first one is they say that the criminal element uses cash and that type of thing, and
right.
And or like people smugglers and that type of thing. And I say, well, the thing is, the government are the biggest people smugglers, Epstein and the such like, and they will find ways that they'll use gold, they'll use silver, they'll use packets of cigarettes. But what it will mean for every day is if they get rid of cash, they won't get rid of the crime, but it will get rid of your ability to go down. and buy beer.
Exactly.
And if they think the government thinks you're buying beer too much, buying meat, or not buying a certain thing, and another very sinister thing they do in China where this is happening is that they have a social credit system, and if somebody gets docked, has got a bad credit system, it also affects you as a friend, and so it is an element of making people shun each other, which is another very worrying thing. So these things are very much connected.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's it's very, very important to keep cash, and it's great to see that you're getting such a positive response from the majority of the public as well. I think it's something we can all get behind.
Yep.
And,
people readily see it. The example of slightly different issue, but the bank issue with Nigel Farage also greatly helped, made people actually think. I mean, the simple fact is today that if you don't have a bank account, it's very hard to have a job.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn up at a job interview and you're talking about how you say, oh, it's get risen. And can we have your bank account so we can pay? Oh, I don't have one. I'm trying to get one. Wait, a number of questions, and they're gonna, oh, what's this?
Exactly.
So
could scupper your chances. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about cash is that it keeps money in the economy, the local economy. It also sort of means that the big institutions aren't skimming off that 1% and 2% each and every time. Actually, it can be anything up to 4 and 5 for smaller businesses. So the bigger businesses get treated better, and the smaller businesses have to struggle. So I do think that there's an element of trying to monopolize all business into fewer and fewer hands.
Yeah.
So like attack farmers, attack small businesses, make it difficult for ordinary people to start up businesses.
Yeah, I think quite an interesting thing I saw is if you've got a £20 note, right, and that goes through 20 transactions, it's still worth £20 at the end of it, whereas digital currency, if it goes through 20 transactions and every time the banks are taking their little percentage cut, after 20 transactions it's not worth hardly anything. So there's that argument as well, isn't there?
There's also another very worrying thing, and they do speak about it. The government do speak about what they can do, that the reason why they love it, and partly is to control the economy more by putting time limits on the time you cannot save this money. You have to spend, or it will expire. So, we want to do some encourage the economy. Well, put out money, but you have to spend it this way, and you'll see how the argument will be wedged in there by pitting people against each other. Oh, when we give out the dole, we don't want people just spending money willy-nilly on whatever they like. They have to spend it on certain things. A digital currency will be in there. So that's where it'll start off. It'll start off very much a big carrot.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll start off a very big carrot. There's, we've done this digital currencies. Here's some free money.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then they establish it, and then
thin end of the wedge.
And then there'll be press campaigns that demonise certain parts of the community and divide people. This is what you always got. You got a big division driving in there all the time, trying to divide people. So, they're trying to stop you from voting, and they're trying to stop you from uniting together, because they know that's the way. You get these all even very silly divisive things going on, like electric cars against petrol cars, when really they want us to stop driving cars.
Yeah.
So both electric and the ICE people should get together and say no. That ULIS thing in London where they're charging petrol car drivers, yeah, when they're finished with them, it's going to be road pricing, and those same cameras are going to be used on the electric cars. So really, people have got to join together. So this is a part here. If we lose the cash, everything else just falls in like a domino for them in their place. So we can keep the cash, we can keep the hope, and we can keep on knocking them back and win and keep our liberty.
Yeah.
It's something that they're always trying to steal from us. you always got to keep working for keeping our liberty. You can't stop campaigning for it.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I saw an interview with or talk actually, with the Keep It Cash lady. I can't remember her name now at the moment,
Okay.
but she runs Keep It Cash, and she was saying that this should be the most important thing in the. That's it. This should be the most important thing in the freedom movement, because if we lose cash, we lose everything else. But if
right.
If we keep cash, we've got a fighting chances of.
There's such a thing as strategy, and taking the holding the strategic ground. Everything else really, I would say the only things that sort of rival it is digital IDs and digital cash. They're the two things that and they'll never, once they get the cash one in, then they'll be able to force the digital ID on it, and it'll be the usual thing, claiming it's get people to behave properly, or it'll be against the baddies, when quite a lot of the baddies are already in government.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So
yeah. Well, I'll leave you to get on.
Thank
with
you very
your,
much for the
campaigning,
interview.
and thank you very much.
It's been terrific. Nice talking to you.